You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. We got some breaking news. We're going to get straight into this very, very shortly because we got a lot of other news to cover, a lot of other things to talk about. But this is just breaking or about like 30 or 40 minutes ago or so. It's been getting out here, and we definitely need to talk about it. My God, how is this happening again and again and again and again? But get on in here. We got some things to talk about. Things have been, things are just not making any sense to me. I'm going to be completely honest. Things are just not making any earthly sense to me. These things are supposed to stay up in the air, right? Allegedly, they're supposed to stay up in the air. Not what we've been seeing as of late. So make that make sense. I digress. We're going to be talking about this here very shortly, okay? So do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button as well. That'd be greatly appreciated, okay? If you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble. Follow on all those platforms. Make sure you're subscribed here. If you're watching on the YouTube, make sure you're subscribed to my main channel. All right, the YouTube channel. Please go over to my secondary channel because I am covering a lot of stuff over there. That channel's called The Pascal Show Clips. I repeat, The Pascal Show Clips. Make sure you're subscribed over there, okay? Make sure both channels, you have that notification bell set to all. Ring that bell. Make sure you hit that bell so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because a lot of times it's breaking news and it's random. And some days there's nothing that goes on in the news until like late at night. And so if I hop on live late at night, we hop on live late at night. It just is what it is, okay? So make sure, but that's why I say make sure you have that notification bell set to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, okay? Because it is very much breaking news and very much random, okay? Now, of course, hit that join button down below, become a member, check out my Patreon, check out my locals, and of course, do not forget, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, guys. Really, really great stuff. Go check it out. Please and thank you. All right. We got to get straight into this. Like I said, this is just a kind of another news flash type breaking news thing. We're not going to be on for hours on end because we got a lot to talk about. Okay. There's some other stuff that I want to bring up to you guys, and it's going to be a longer show for sure. Okay. So we got to get straight into this. All right. Now, here's the thing, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I feel some type of way about what's been going on lately out here in this world right now. Oh, all right. Let's be real. For one person like myself who I'm not the biggest fan of flying. Okay. If you know me from watching this show, I have told you guys countless times, I'm not the biggest fan of flying. If I had the choice to drive, if it's driving distance, you're going to see me in a ride. I'm going to drive it, okay? If I have the choice. I just don't like flying, okay? Flying makes me very, very anxious. But why is this happening so often right now? And it's on various types of aircraft. Let's be real. Let's talk about this. What happened in D.C., right? We can look at that. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of investigation still going on. They still need to do their due diligence. There's still a lot going on revolving around that, okay? There's still a lot to talk about. And there's still a lot of things that still need to be unearthed with that. But still, we can look at it as like a freak accident. I'm saying that very loosely, though, okay? Because we don't know everything as of yet. We'll find out soon enough, though, what the truth really is. What are the facts on what happened there? But we look at that and I say, okay, freak accident, right? But there's been, and like I said, saying that very loosely. So don't at me being like, Pascal, wasn't a freak accident, man. Hold on. We don't know what really happened. And hopefully, though, there will be transparency very soon in regards to what actually happened and why it went down. But nonetheless, it wasn't like mechanical malfunction where it just a plane drops from the sky, so on and so forth. You see what I'm saying? Okay. But then, a few days later, something like that, we have another jet, a Learjet that just plummets from the sky, literally just drops from the sky out of nowhere, right? Coming down like a missile, on fire, by the way, and then blows up on impact, looking like a damn nuke dropped from the sky, right? Pretty scary stuff. Then we've been seeing a bunch of other things that have been going on. The plane crash in Alaska, and all these other things that we've been seeing as of late. Even so, we had another plane, Motley Crue's, okay? Motley Crue's lead singer's own jet, private jet, crashes, has a crash landing basically because the landing gear snaps out from under it as it slides into another parked plane, taking the life of one and injuring 4 other people. It's been pretty crazy, okay? So now you got Dr. Feelgood flying in and then crashing into another plane. Pretty insane. And that just happened just a few days ago. And hopefully everybody else who was injured has a swift recovery. And of course, thoughts and prayers to every single person that has lost their lives over the last 2-3 weeks. Let's just say roughly, right? It's been absolutely insane lately. But now, and then of course we heard about another fighter jet falling from the sky. I don't know where it was. I think it was in Arizona, if my memory treats me correctly. And which was also, and that happened before, if I'm correct, before the 67 people lost their lives as well, right? But now on top of that, we have another military fighter jet plummeting from the sky and crashing into the San Diego Bay. Now, tell me this. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? And I want to remind you, mind you, okay, littles, my little babies, mind you, this is not like we're dealing with something that happens every single day. This is normal. This is totally normal. Use common sense. It's totally normal, right? This is not normal. This is not something that just stays out in the front of in media's. This is not something that it takes media's attention just because it happens to be a trending topic because there's so many damn planes dropping from the sky. But if you really think about it, it's totally normal. No, guys, let me just remind you, this is not normal. This is not normal. TikTok, it's not normal. It's not normal. YouTube, fams, it's not normal. So how is this always happening? How is this always happening? Now you got military fighter jets, billions of dollars worth of military grade equipment, okay, falling from the sky. And this is not the first time either, if I'm correct, of this year. This is the second one to just drop from the sky. Like I said, make mother-loving sense, because something about this really doesn't feel right. Fighter jets, Learjets, regional jets, Black Hawks, all of them just suddenly malfunctioning and having issues. What, I repeat, what, pray tell, is really going on here? And again, like I said, I'm not trying to say, hey, let's put on the tinfoil hat and be like ancient aliens, man. No, I'm not trying to do that. Okay, let me just say that. I'm not trying to do that at all. All I'm asking, as a concerned citizen, What the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on here? So let's take a look at this article, right? Because there's things that just it's just not making sense. And even Miguel, okay, says it's the orbs, man. I don't know what orbs you're talking about, but maybe it is. Maybe it is aliens, man. Maybe it is. Okay, General Scott, thank you so much for giving one membership. Welcome to the family. Whoever just got gifted that membership, please. All I ask you guys to do is to pay it forward, love. Pay it forward. Share the wealth with goodness and love, positivity. All right? That's all I ask, guys. It's very simple. A very simple ask. But let's continue. Let's get into this conversation. And I may have a cool little announcement to share with you guys at the end, near the end of this show. Like I said, this is a brief, fast show because there's a lot going on. Make sure, like I said, I hate to keep telling you guys this, interrupting this show, but I need to tell you guys this. Please, oh, please, make sure you are subscribed to the secondary channel as well, the Pascal Show clips, because there's a bunch of other stuff I'm going to be talking about over there. We're going to be talking about some things over here. So like I said, there's a lot going on. I got a whole list of things to cover. We got things going on with Blake, that Blake Lively-ish. We got some things going on with JFK, and I'm just going to do this ahead of time. We got some things with JFK, and we got some things with Wendy Williams. Yeah, we got things with Wendy Williams. We're going to talk that talk. Okay, so make sure you're subscribed to both channels because we're going to be talking about a bunch of different things. I'm going to be hopping back and forth today, okay? Because I missed a lot yesterday, and there's a lot going on today. The hits just keep on coming. But let's continue, right? So 2 pilots were rescued after a fighter jet crashed into the San Diego Bay. So first off, thank God these 2 pilots are okay. There are no casualties, but man, may that plane rest in peace, because that's millions and millions and millions of dollars gone. Just now rubble, right? Yeah, it's terrible. So they crashed into the San Diego Bay in the area of 1401 Shelter Island Drive this morning, okay, according to the San Diego Fire Rescue Department. A U.S. Navy spokesperson confirmed to ABC 10 News that the aircraft was an EA-18G Growler. I don't know anything about planes, but I'm sure somebody out there is going to be like, well, actually, it's a very powerful plane. Duh! It's a fighter jet, so we know it's going to be a powerful plane, okay? A powerful jet, to be exact, okay? Because I already know somebody's going to be like, don't, excuse me, sir, do not call it a jet. A plane is actually a jet, sir. So, I know, okay? And I love you still. Moving on. Yes, it does sound expensive. Hell yeah, it's expensive. Millions and millions of dollars per plane. Let's not forget. Lots of monies. So, the spokesperson said the air crew safely ejected and then they were taken out of the water. The U.S. Coast Guard says they were rescued by a fishing boat after they were only in the water for about a minute, which is great. We're going to be looking at the footage here, too, in just a second. TikTok, you're not going to be able to see the footage, but, you can hop over to the YouTube channel. Check it out over there, okay? Just a heads up. Moving on. The pilots were then transferred to a U.S. Customs and Border Protection boat on the scene before taken to the hospital, per the Coast Guard. So an ABC News crew was there at the scene reporting on another story when they saw the immediate aftermath of the crash a little before 10:30 a.m. That's very convenient, okay? That's very, very convenient that they were there while all this was going down. I'm not alluding to anything. All I'm saying is that that's very convenient. Naval Air Station North Island sits directly east of where our reporting team was at the time of the crash. So the San Diego Fire and Rescue Department initially responded to the scene, but they were called off as federal emergency responders pulled the pilots out of the water. That included the U.S. Army, Coast Guard, and Harbor PD. So everybody, all hands on deck, right? Both pilots were taken to the UC San Diego Health and in Hillcrest. An ABC News reporter saw the pilots as they were taken into the hospital. The extent of their injuries is unclear at this point. However, they were in stable condition. So again, thank God these people are okay. Everybody's in one piece. All right. There are no casualties. Maybe some egos are bruised. Let's just say that. Maybe there's some egos that are bruised a little bit. But other than that, nobody perished. There are no casualties, which is obviously really, really great news. I want to share this too and show this with y'all as well. All right. There's this shocking video, which we are going to see here in a second, of this jet just dropping from the sky. And I feel like they need to explain why this happened. And again, I also want to say this too. Thank God this jet, didn't land where civilians were. Think about that for a second. Think about that. Like, this plane just dropped out of the sky. And this one, again, fell into a body of water, which is great, right? But imagine if it landed in a heavily populated area, the most metropolitan of metropolitan areas in San Diego, let's just say. That's terrifying. This would have been another fiery mess. So thank God it went into the San Diego Bay and not in the middle of one of the busiest corners of San Diego. Okay. So let's take a look at this. It says, it plummets from the sky in shocking video after a fighter jet crashed into San Diego Wednesday. The video captured the plane coming down to earth in a shocking free fall, kind of like what we saw in Northeast Philly, except this one wasn't a fiery, like a fireball going down, right? Check out the viral video, which we're going to be checking out here in a second. So the EA-18G Growler plummeting out from the sky, appearing in a flash before disappearing behind some buildings, and authorities say the ship crashed into the ocean. So according to which we already know that the small craft ejected, the two pilots that were actually in the small craft ejected before it hit the San Diego Bay. Coast Guard says a fishing vessel rescued them shortly after the incident. The two pilots are in stable condition. Okay. A miracle given the shocking nature of the crash. I mean, even just looking at this photo alone, this is no joke, right? This is some scary stuff. Again, scary, scary stuff. Coast Guard Petty Officer Sappy tells TMZ the Navy jet is down in the harbor. We're told the Coast Guard didn't assist in rescue efforts, but they are enforcing a safety zone around the crash site. I'm sure they're trying to maybe try to get the plane. Maybe. I don't know. But still pretty crazy, of course, right? Of course, airplane safety is on everyone's minds these days after this Black Hawk hit the American Airlines flight in DC, which we all know about. 67 people lost their lives. That includes all the people on the plane, on the regional jet, to the people that were, to the soldiers that were actually on or in the Black Hawk as well. I mean, this is obviously very, very sad stuff. It's still unclear what caused that crash, which we already know. We don't know what happened. They haven't said anything yet about that one, right? About what happened in DC. We are still trying to find out and figure out what the hell happened here, why it went down, and what can we do to prevent that from ever happening again. There's been no transparency on that so far. All they've said is, yeah, the pilot's female. That's all they've done so far. Here are the names of the pilots, and that's it. Oh, here's some of the names of the kids that were a part of the figure skating team that lost their lives in the plane. But they haven't given us anything else, though. Oh, I'm sorry. The pilots of that plane and the staff. Okay? The flight attendants. That's it. From what I've heard, they have not come out and said, hey, hear the names of everybody. They haven't said anything. And I know that's a little bit of a different story and a different conversation here, but I mean, think about it, guys. They have not come forward and say, hey, here's what's going on. This, and this. This is why we're talking about it. This is why we're looking into it, so on and so forth. Who's really to blame, right? What do those black boxes say? Where's the audio for that? Is there going to be transparency on that? Or are they just hoping that there's going to be more and more catastrophic stories and news out here that we're just going to forget about 67 souls that were lost on that tragic night? Like I said, I'm curious about that as well. And I'm hoping that they give us some more transparency here very, very soon. So let me show you guys this video. You're not going to be able to see this on TikTok, but you'll be able to see it on the YouTube, okay? So go over to my YouTube channel if you want to see the video itself. But here is the video, guys. And this is crazy. It literally just drops like a rock, okay?
Oh, shit, it didn't send.
You see that?
Oh, shit, it didn't send.
Did you see that?
Oh, shit.
We don't need to hear him say, oh, ish, over and over and over again. But look, that thing is just dropping from the sky, just like what we saw in Northeast Philadelphia. Except this time you don't hear any of that, right? I don't even know if there's even audio in the security cam, but this is the security cam footage of this fighter jet just falling from the sky. Now, I'm going to see if there's anything else here, if there's anything more, because, of course, there really hasn't been much. Hold on, guys. Sorry. That ain't it. Yeah. Like that. I'm sorry. That's just some scary, scary stuff. But let's take a look at some of this conversation that's happening right now. Well, not right now, but about an hour.
We do want to go now to our ABC 10 News reporter, Purla Shaheen, who is live at the scene. And if you're just joining us right now, Purla, again, can you recap the information that you do know about this aircraft incident?
Well, Melissa, we were here for a completely different story. We were supposed to be on that boat right there. It's the Air and Marine Operations boat for Customs and Border Protection. And now I'm being told that this is the same boat that retrieved the pilots from the water after a fighter jet crashed into the water just a few minutes ago.
And I'm telling you right now, even so, it's like, something like this, it's like, do they even get a warning sign? Do civilians even get a warning sign when this goes off? When something like this happens? Is there like a me, like anything? Because, I mean, this thing just falling from the sky, I mean, not everybody's going to be looking up, right? Not everybody's staring up at the sky to make sure that they're not going to get hit by some sort of random flying object. So it's just so odd. And I know this is spur of the moment. It's an accident. I'm sure something malfunctioned, whatever. But at the same time, this is a huge, very expensive, powerful machine, right? Powerful aircraft that if it goes into one place, it could be devastating, right? Let's continue.
So thankfully, those pilots are okay. I'm being told that first what happened, the jet crashed into the water, and then a fisherman boat nearby came and retrieved the pilots from the water. They rescued them until Customs and Border Protection was able to transport them to this dock and take them to a nearby hospital. So thankfully, those pilots are in stable condition, but we still don't know exactly how stable and how injured they might be.
But I mean, even so, they're saying, hey, we got these guys. They got the guys. These pilots were picked up by a fisher boat, which we already read before. They also say that they don't know the extent of their injuries. And here it is. Real talk. If they're okay and they have some minor injuries, cool. That's not my concern. They're alive, which, by the way, I'll just say this. Yay. I'm happy about that. But we're going to cut the applause real quick. The reason why I say cut the applause is I'm not really, if they're okay, I'm not concerned about that. What I want to know is why this happened. Why did this happen? What actually happened here? They were flying in that area for what reason? Why there? Look, like I put my mouse right here. Why did the crash happen here and not like out here in Bigger Walter with a whole lot more space to crash and burn? You see what I'm saying? Make this make sense. Why would they crash out here? And why wouldn't they instead of right here? Now, obviously, of course, if they had no control over the plane, then I get that they have no other choice but to just let it go. Frozen. But still, I'm curious about how and why that happened. And why in that location specifically. Like I said, I'm not here trying to bring up conspiracy, but that is a weird place to just land, because that's still like, if you miss the water, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of potential people that you can hurt. There's a lot of devastation, right? Just something I've noticed. Like, that is a very small spot, especially if you're way up in the air. And yes, they ejected both, just so you guys know, both pilots that were in the plane are alive. They're fine. They ejected from the plane before it crashed. Then the plane crashed. They obviously parachuted down into the water, and they're fine. Apparently they have some injuries, but they're okay, right? And that's fine. Fine and dandy. But my main concern is, why did this happen in the first place? And what can they do to not have this happen there? And of course, happen in this kind of area, potentially very populated areas. I'm surprised that these planes didn't hit a fisher boat, because you saw the boats in this clip here. Plenty of boats are just going back and forth, doing what they're doing. So again, just doesn't make sense, right? Interesting stuff. Let's continue.
It was a very explosive crash, and I want to describe it to you because we watched it as it happened. The fighter jet came at full speed down into the water here, and an explosion of water came in response. It was an eruption of the water. And
I mean, it sounds like it did a cannonball. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't like go into the water and then just explode in the water. It made a very big splash, guys. Clearly it would if it's going God knows how many miles an hour you're going. Okay.
Everyone nearby was completely shocked, including the director of Air and Maritime Operations of Customs and Border Protection. And he was the one on scene here with me, confirming everything one step at a time. And we still have a lot more information to confirm, but that's the latest update we got from Customs and Border Patrol.
Damn. I mean, again, pretty crazy stuff. But it does make you wonder why this happened, the way it went down. And of course, we still don't know everything as of yet.
The main channel.
We also do have a little press conference that they just had about 7 minutes ago. So let's take a listen to this.
Kellogg Beach. The main channel of San Diego Bay remains open in and out, but you'll see a large Coast Guard and Navy presence holding the maritime perimeter of the debris field while all of the debris is recovered. So that is, in a nutshell, what happened this morning. And we're taking a few questions, but we can't really talk about the pilots, their identity, the aircraft, all of that stuff. We're going to have to refer to the Navy because this is going to be their investigation.
Did these Americans recover them in a boat?
In a boat, yes.
What's the process now with clearing the debris? Maybe a crane's going to come in. Can you give us any details on that?
I don't know all the details because the Navy is primary on that. I do know it could take a while because you have to pinpoint exactly, where the accident happened, and you've got tide and wind that can push debris, anywhere. So it could be a while.
And describe to people, we were seeing the orange outline that was being used out there.
So that's a boom that is made to kind of prevent environmental spills from expanding, prevent the debris field from expanding, and kind of set the perimeter. Anytime there's an aircraft accident like this, there is a little bit of a concern about the maritime environmental impact. So the Port Environmental is aware of the impact that might have. The Coast Guard has their own emergency environmental response as well, in case any of that is needed.
What did you describe it as? A boom?
A boom? Yeah, BOOM.
So underwater, what is underwater?
In case any of that is needed. The boom is just on the surface. The boom is just on the surface. It doesn't extend underneath the water.
Can you tell us anything about the pilots as they were taken from the water here and transported, their demeanor, anything?
Cannot. Anything for the pilots, you're gonna have to refer to the Navy on that.
What's the depth of the water?
The depth of the bay varies all over, and since the point of impact hasn't really been determined yet, you can kind of see the general area where they are, but I couldn't speak to the exact depth. I don't know.
What's the concern for this, right?
Out on the water right now, it appears that there's, I've seen Navy boats, I've seen Coast Guard boats, and there's one Harbor Police boat helping maintain the perimeter right now.
One of the big concerns is environmental issues. I know you're on top of it now, but we have bad weather, we have currents, so with wind. What more can you do to make sure that more environmental damage isn't done?
There's not a lot you can do in the moment. I mean, it's environmental cleanup because the accident has already happened. So getting those booms out there and having all of your environmental teams on standby is really the best we can do right now, because the Navy investigation is primary as they kind of get their perimeter set up and on lockdown.
Is the Navy in charge of removing the fighter jets from the water?
Yes, I believe that's going to be their responsibility.
How would they do so when that happens?
I don't know their process.
Has this ever happened before?
I believe there was a helicopter crash in the bay years ago. I don't remember the exact date of that, though.
What's the intention of the maritime closure, and how long is that expected to last?
We'll lift it as soon as we can. We don't want to extend that any longer. We have left an ingress and egress route, like I said, for essential emergency traffic. So if you were, your dock home port is the Kona Kai and you've been out all day, if you're coming back tonight, we're going to let you get back to your dock. But if you're just going out for a pleasure cruise for the day, please avoid the area because it's just for emergency traffic only.
Is it just for the rest of the day that it's going to be?
I can't give an exact timeline because I don't know how long the recovery efforts will take.
So the Good Samaritan, there's a fishing boat, what sort of boat?
I heard fishing boat, but I couldn't even verify if it was a large fishing boat, a small fishing boat. I'm not sure.
Did they bring them out of the water?
I was not there for that part yet, so I don't know, sir. Sorry.
What hospital?
I can't say the hospital. I'll have to defer to the Navy on that one.
Okay, I think that's it, folks. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I mean, I feel like there's not going to be a whole lot that they can say. I mean, you heard him say it himself. He's like, there's not a whole lot that I can say because of, like, we can't tell you who the pilots were, what their names were, and all that because of confidentiality or whatever it may be. It's a different situation. It's a different class of its own, especially the people who are operating those very expensive, very powerful aircrafts, right? So hopefully they'll have some sort of explanation here very soon, because again, something like this is, I mean, that's scary. There's planes. We've already talked about this a million times over, but there are planes flying right now as we speak, right above us right now. Wherever you are, there's a plane flying somewhere around you. Okay. Above you. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that they're literally right above me right now, but there's planes flying everywhere. Okay. Not only just military aircraft. This is even commercial aircraft. People are constantly flying. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, just the travel industry itself, right? The airline travel business, massive. There's constantly planes flying every day, every hour, it seems like. It is an ongoing machine. And then you got to remember, there's also people in the sky training, learning how to do what they need to do, blah, 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 running drills, etc., that are working for the military. And they're out there doing stuff too. So that if something does go down, something terrible does go down, what happens? Something does go down, they're there. Boom. There's a hostage situation, or they took over a plane, blah, blah, blah. You know, they hijacked this plane. Boom. They're able to be right there, right? Quick response, etc. So again, it's still very interesting how this is all, like, this keeps happening, right? Somebody else I saw in the corner of my eye said something like, nah, something's going on. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I mean, this could very well just be a weird series of events, but it just seems too on the nose for it to just be a strange series of events. You feel me? It's very odd for this automatically to have this consistently happen the way it has been happening, right? I mean, car accidents happen every single day. You don't hear people, you don't hear the news reporting about car accidents every day or at all, because it happens every single day. Fender benders happen all the time, to devastating fatal car crashes happen all the time. It just depends on who's behind the wheel too. If it's somebody who's under the influence, then that might be a big story or a big lawsuit or something of that sort. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to these airlines, to planes crashing, things like that, just dropping out of the sky, yeah, this is massive news, especially now that we're seeing more and more planes just dropping out of the sky left and right. This is the second, this is the second one where there was some sort of malfunction in the plane, in this fighter jet just falling from the sky. This is the second one so far in the last 3 weeks. That's weird. Then you have a military grade helicopter, a Black Hawk, flying T-boning a mother-loving other commercial airline in the middle of the sky. What is going on here? And that's just the tip of the iceberg of all the other stuff that we've been talking about with all these casualties and these plane crashes that have been happening. Some of them have been as small as just a plane taxiing into a gate, and I don't know how it happens, but a plane not knowing its own size and hitting another plane, not hurting anybody except for maybe the pilot's egos and maybe their careers, but they're still hitting planes. There's still collisions going on, from very minor, to just cosmetic type stuff to devastation. I really don't know what's going on. And I wish I had the answer for it, because it's terrifying to think that this stuff is actually here and it's actually real. But nonetheless, it's happening. It most definitely is happening. So that is some crazy stuff, guys. And of course, if there's more information, of course, we'll talk about it. But, of course, these two pilots are still alive, which is great news. They'll be able to literally fight another day, continue to protect our country, continue to serve for our country, which is obviously a great thing. I don't know what happens with them, if they get grounded for a while, or if they get suspended, or if they get some type of repercussion because of what happened, right? Because that's a very expensive piece of equipment. That's a very expensive aircraft that they just ditched in the ocean. You got to think about that too, right? In a bay. So that's something to think about for sure. You know what I mean? But I'm wondering if they get reprimanded for this, because if it was their fault, they definitely need to be reprimanded for it. But if it ain't their fault, then I guess, we're just going to have to sit back, wait and see how this all unfolds here. But this is crazy stuff, y'all. So if we find out more information, I'll let you guys know about it for sure. But this is nuts, It's nuts, guys. It's nuts. but I do want to say a few things, but okay. Let me just explain something to you guys. Okay. I got a couple things that I'm doing right now. I just want to give you guys the heads up. All right. There's a couple projects that I'm working on right now. I don't want to get into too much detail on what those projects are, but you will be seeing a lot of these things start to trickle out over time. Like I said, a couple different things are in the works right now. Some things I've talked to you guys about before. And then there's some things that I haven't talked to you guys about at all. So I'm really looking forward to sharing those things. But I'm just telling you, it's been a crazy time, not only just because of family life and doing things with family and all that other stuff too, but also, I'm working on these other projects that are a part of the show, or, are a part of what I want to bring into the show. And just, like I said, just get ready. We got some really cool stuff coming very, 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 very soon. And, I might be trickling a few, surprises over the next couple weeks to let you guys see what I'm talking about and what I have been working on, so that when it's all ready, you guys know what's going down. Okay. Just so that you guys know. So there's a lot going on. That's why I urge you guys to make sure you're subscribed to both channels, to the Pascal Show and to the Pascal Show Clips. There may be other channels here in the very near future to subscribe to, but or another one here soon. But that is something later on down the line. We will, like I said, we will talk about that at another time. But I'm going to be back on here in just a little bit, probably about an hour from now, because there is some stuff that I do want to share with y'all, talk to you guys about, and it has to do with something completely different. But it's definitely something we need to talk about for sure. All right. It concerns me, and I think it should concern all of you guys as well. But make sure you go to the secondary channel, subscribe to the secondary channel, because I do have another video going on over there for you guys as well. So that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. All right. Appreciate it. Like I said, your boy's working 24/7 for Christ's sakes. All right. So if you can, do me a favor, show some love, hit that like button down below, crush it, do what it do. All right. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. Please and thank you. All right. Don't forget to hit that follow button if you're watching on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble. Make sure you are following those platforms. I'm sorry. Of course, make sure you are subscribed here on my main channel. I can't urge you enough to go over to the secondary channel as well. Also, I've just posted something this morning here talking about Brian Kohberger. There's some updates on Brian Kohberger and the Idaho 4 thing. Yes, we haven't talked about it in a while, but this is a big deal in my personal opinion. So please take the time to take a look at that on this main channel. Go to the secondary channel. Check out those other videos that I got coming out very, very soon. Go check them out. Subscribe. Make sure you have that notification bell set to all, okay, on both channels. The news is just coming out rapidly and randomly, guys, and it comes out anytime the news wants to be newsing, all right? So early morning or late night, it is what it is. So, of course, hit that join button down below, become a member, check that out. Check out my Patreon, check out my locals, and, of course, check out pascalmerch.com, all right? Support if you can. That'll be greatly appreciated. We got some really great stuff over there on pascalmerch.com. But I'm going to be back on in about an hour. Okay, I got a few things that are going to be on in the secondary channel that I'm uploading here in just a minute that I want to share with y'all. And then we got to get into another conversation that's much needed. So be sure to tune in about an hour. Okay, guys? Check out pascalmerch.com. Don't forget. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Much love to you guys. I will see you guys very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.